fragrance. It's released in 2007 in the private blend line. The profile behind was Harry Fremont. Is a notes are raspberry, saffron. Heart notes are olibanum, jasmine. Base notes are leather, suede, also woody notes, and amber. Main accords are leathery, fruity, animalic, sweet, ambery, smoky, warm, and spicy. Well, what we can say about this fragrance? This fragrance was amazing when it was market, and the current version is weaker and is less potent than before, less smokier and less fruity than before. It's a difference, no doubt about it. It's a nice, smooth, leather fragrance. More, I can say, to me, lean over a suede fragrance than a leather fragrance, but nevertheless, I'm not here to argue the fact. I'm here to argue the only fact I have is the current version, again, to me, failed. I'm sorry to say, for a quite expensive fragrance, the current version is weak. The current version is less potent and has less depth than the original version. I don't know what is your feeling, but that's my feeling about Tuscan Leather, the current version. If you are having a chance to get the older version, the older batches before 2019, then you are going to hit the jackpot. Otherwise, I'm sorry to say, unless you really love this fragrance, don't buy it. Don't waste your money on Tuscan Leather, the current version, because with that money, you can buy many, many, many more great leather fragrances. Even Ombre Leather by TomFord is better than the Tuscan Leather, the current version. I don't know, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Why the reformulations have to water down this fragrance? There is nothing on the list that is harmful and banned by IFRA, unless there are some hidden notes that are not communicated to us. Then there is another fact. But otherwise, I don't see any special notes that might be harmful or might give you allergies. I don't know. I really don't get. This is an expensive fragrance, and people, they expect to have the best version of it. So why again they have to get a watered down version, which is absolutely not the same it used to be. And I'm sorry to say, that's the case of most of the current version of the fragrances in the market, and is the same thing with Creed, is the same thing with TomFord, is the same thing with Christian Dior, is the same thing with most of the great brands. And really, I am very disappointed, because I think customers deserve more than this, and deserve more than watered down fragrances, because when you pay the price. When you buy a fragrance for $150, you expect to have something very good. You don't expect to have something average, or you don't expect to have something watered down. No, I'm sorry to say, I know fragrances that cost only $30 and they are still the same. You want example? I give you example. Fragrances by the house of Jacques Bogart. They are very, very, very affordable, and the fragrances last on your skin, and they are still potent, and they are still amazing. So why a fragrance from TomFord private blend, or a fragrance from Creed, or a fragrance from Christian Dior, or a fragrance from the house of Givenchy, they have to be watered down, and they are 4 times more expensive than Jacques Bogart fragrances? And I don't understand why, because if there are IFRA regulations, IFRA regulations apply also to Jacques Bogart. But how Jacques Bogart managed to keep their fragrances potent and still faithful to the original versions, while Tom Ford, a big brand, a luxury big brand, a very expensive big brand, can't manage to provide to customers a potent version of Tuscan leather or a potent version of wood or etc. etc. So this is my little shout out. I don't understand this policy, and I am really disappointed because I think when you pay the price, you deserve to have the highest quality of the fragrance. Fragrance is something very expensive. It's not, and it's a magic moment for many of us. And you get a fragrance for your birthday, you get a fragrance for Christmas, you get a fragrance for any special occasion. And why you have to be disappointed? Doesn't mean that if the fragrance was released in 2007 should be now a watered down fragrance in 2021. This is absurd. Come on. I really don't agree with this policy. I don't agree with those damned reformulations. And I am kind of fed up with the reformulations because what does it mean? There is nothing in this fragrance. You got leather, you got raspberry. What else you got here? Raspberry, saffron and thyme, olibanum and jasmine, leather and suede, woody notes, and amber. There is no banned notes here. None of those notes are banned by IFRA. So why the fragrance have been watered down? This is the kind of situation which is, to me, absolutely absurd. And I think brands, they just want to take a high profits, and they use less and less raw materials, natural materials that they are expensive. And anyway, there is no cow oils, so it's a synthetic. All leather notes are synthetic. You can never have a natural cow oils out of the skin of a cow. This is absurd. So this fragrance is not a very expensive fragrance on the base, and somehow it has been watered down. And this is, to me, a very tricky policy by the brands. So this is my shout out about TomFord Tuscan Leather. I just wanted to tell you, it's up to you, but don't waste your money on that. You can have a better fragrances for less than this Tuscan Leather and cheaper than Tuscan Leather. So it's up to you. If you really, really love this fragrance and you cannot pass over this fragrance, then it's your business. Buy it. But if you are just a customer that you are searching for a leather fragrance, and you heard that Tuscan Leather is magic, no, there is nothing magic about it today. This fragrance, as I told you, has been overhyped. And really, it's a nice leather, fruity leather, but it's not the greatest leather of all. Personally, I prefer Gucci Guilty Absolute. To me, I prefer that type of leather fragrance to Tuscan Leather. But this is only my choice. I'm not here to impose my point of view to you. You are the final decision maker. Always try a fragrance, always test the fragrance, then pull the trigger. I just give you my opinion as a friendly advice. The rest is up to you. Test it, let the fragrance stay on your skin for a couple of hours, and then decide to pull the trigger. But never blind buy expensive fragrance such as TomFord Private Blend, because you might be really, really disappointed later. So this is my take on Tuscan Leather by TomFord, the current version. Anyway, if you can get your hand over the batches before 2019, then those are worthy to buy. So this is my take. Until we talk again, stay safe and sound, stay tuned, and I'll be back very soon on the same channel to talk with you for another fragrance for sure. And God bless you all. Cheerio!